Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you for being here. My name is Pat Flynn, here to help you. And today we're going to rapid fire answer as many of your questions as possible. Today, as you can see here, our goal is to answer 35 questions. Yesterday, we answered 32 within the hour, and today we're going to go for 35. Who knows? Maybe we're going to get more. But I'm here to serve you. I'm here to help you as we begin our 2021 journey. You don't have to wait till next Friday to make it happen. We can do it right now. So let's hang on tight because it's going to be a wild ride and we're going to have some fun. It's going to be super chill. Don't worry. You don't have to sit on the edge of your seat or anything. Maybe you're watching on TV while munching on something at home, or you're on a walk, or maybe you're even listening to this, hopefully not watching while you are driving. Whatever the case may be, bless you. Thank you for being here. Let's have some fun. Welcome to the show.
This is the income stream to help you achieve your dream. All while we keep it clean. This is the income stream. It's the kind of show where you can come and go, but then you leave inspired with no fee required. The income stream with Pat Flynn.
All right. Already see some questions coming in. If you want to get a question answered, so I won't be able to get to everybody, just know that. But to better help you so that I can find your question, type in the word question in all caps and then your question, and I'll do my best to rapid fire answer them. I am already getting a little hot or a little warm, which is okay. I'm wearing the MKBHD merch today, which is super cool. Big shout out to MKBHD, or Marques Brownlee, as we all know him as here on YouTube. And I might have to take my jacket off in a little bit. I'm already feeling it, but I'm going to get the sleeves up. We're going to get rolling here, and we're going to answer as many questions as possible. So first question from Bernard here. Is it a good idea to get a green screen for YouTube videos? I've tried using a green screen before, and number one, you have to get the lighting perfect, or else it's just going to look so obvious, like on those really bad Zoom calls where you see that you're like, you're not at the beach, or that's not what your living room is actually like, and then you move like this, and then all of a sudden, like, you could see the screen breaking up. You have to get the lighting really well. So in addition to getting software that can help you, you also need some really good lighting, and you need the green screen. So unless you believe that it's going to provide an ROI of some kind in terms of how you stand out, in terms of who is else out there in the space that you're in creating videos, it can be handy, but it could also be a complete waste of time and money. In my case, I enjoy putting a little bit of my personality in the background, as you can tell. So that's something I don't need a green screen for. But I think it depends on the kind of video and what you're trying to do with it. But in my opinion, I would rather you spend money potentially elsewhere, unless it is something that you think is going to be a big need for you, for sure. What's up, Gunsmoke Ghost? Good to see you. We got Sherry in the house as well. We got Kate Walk saying hello to Rob Values. Bad Sharpie, says Stephanie. Yes, we want to use the marker on the board, not a Sharpie. I've done that accidentally before. Hello from Phoenix. What's up, True Blue? True Blue. Blue. My boy Blue. If you can guess what movie that's from, bonus points for you. All right, let's go to some questions. Fit Over 50. Great brand name, by the way. Just completed video 7 after starting my niche down channel a month ago. I'm finding a few competitors with the same or similar name. Might one try to innovatively change the name? I mean, you could potentially change the name for sure, but if it is something that you think that you can take more ownership of in terms of growing your brand better, becoming known for that, well, then it's maybe just, obviously you don't want to copy a name that already exists or have copyright or anything like that. Yes, old school, very good. Peasant Uprising. If there's obviously a trademark for it, then it might behoove you to, in fact, change that name up front now before you have to change it later after getting a cease and desist letter like I did back in 2010. Never a fun experience, but it wasn't the end of the world. We changed the name. Everything was fine. But should you, as you create more videos, come up with a different angle or find that there's something else that sparks your imagination that might be a better brand name for you as you start to go deeper and more serious into this, well, then it might be okay to change. But just the fact that there's competitors out there is not going to be the end-all be-all, right? I think that you could go, oh, you know what? Even though there are competitors out there, I'm going to take even more of a serious approach to this, and I'm going to show up more consistently, and I'm going to build a better relationship with my audience than they could. And you could step forward and become known for that, and they can almost sort of fall behind if you want, right? Question from Jonathan. In terms of automations sending to leads prospects, how often should you change them? I mean, honestly, in my opinion, I would change them as often as possible. And what I mean by changing them is not complete overhauls, right? You want to have a starting point where you have, for example, a lead magnet, an email, incentive of some kind for people to join your email list. And you have a series of emails go out for a 1 week, 2 week, a month, however long you want to nurture them, that then lead into some kind of offer that after you've built trust and showed proof, that is one that makes sense. But it's very important to pay close attention to those numbers and see what's working and what's not. And if you do it right, you should be able to see, okay, well, we have a whatever % conversion rate on our landing page here, but maybe we can try to improve that. So let's do an A/B split test, which means we're going to test two against each other, brand new copy versus the old copy, to see which one works better. Then we're going to start to increase our conversion there, because you could literally have the same amount of traffic come in and double your income. How? By doubling your conversions, going from 1% conversion to 2% conversion, going from 20% conversion to 40% conversion. And the beauty of this is when you track all the spots where there are conversions, there's a conversion from people landing on your website to going into your email list. There's conversion from people on your email list opening the first email. There's conversion from people opening the email with the offer to people going to the offer. There's conversions from people landing on the offer to then making a purchase, right? There's so many areas where we can pay attention to the numbers and increase the conversion rates such that we don't need more traffic, right? You know me, it's all about the experiences of the people who are here, and then having those people hopefully attract more people versus always focusing on top of funnel and forgetting about the rest of the experiences. Hence, super fans and everything I talk about there. Ryan, yo, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Love super fans. Would you be down for collaboration? If so, how can we get in touch? Send me an email, pat@patflynn.com, and we can talk for sure. I'm always down for a collab. If there's room, if there's time, if it makes sense for both parties, if both parties can walk away with a win, I'm all down for it. And of course, if there's time, that's obviously more important as well. So Ryan, I'll remember your name, the bookworm. Nice. Send an email to pat@patflynn.com and pitch me, right? In terms of what we could do together. And, I want it to be beneficial to you as well as beneficial to myself too. So well done, everybody. Thank you. What's up, Elena? Great to see you here. Ryan, Justin, Dreshawn, Carlos, the unpopular mom. Great to have you here. Thank you. I'm just going down these questions as fast as possible. We're trying to get to 35, as you can see today. And so far, we're on a roll. And I'm going to try to answer more because I hate leaving you hanging, but I can't possibly answer everybody's. But let's keep going. Jonathan, in terms of automations, we just did that one. Amir, should I run ads to get more views on my YouTube channel? For me, ads are great, if and only if you have a reason to pay for those ads and you have an outcome on the other end that could provide you a higher return, right? I'm not a huge fan of just paying for ads for awareness purposes, right? I think that you don't need to grow by just paying for ads. There are many other ways to grow. I mean, think about car companies, right? We see so many car companies spending money on ads. I mean, $1 million spots for Super Bowl commercials. However, how many ads has Tesla ever ran? 0. They killed their marketing department because they don't need it, because the product is that great. So that just tells you you don't need ads to build awareness. You can build awareness from within. But ads, when it makes sense, can be very powerful. I'm going to spend $1 to bring a lead in, and I know that $1 will convert and be worth $2.50 after all the numbers are calculated, right? Man, I'm just going to be spending dollars all day. If there was a vending machine that would allow you to put $1 in and you get $2.50 money out, right? Because there are times you spend $1 and you get, Cheez-Its, and you're really hungry. So you're like, yeah, I would have paid $2.50 for that, but I'm just really hungry. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about literally spending money to make more money. Once you build that machine, it becomes very powerful. But you need an offer. You need something on the other end that can help you understand whether or not you're actually wasting money or you're actually spending money in a smart way, right? Poke K No, what's up? Welcome in. High five. Thanks for being here. We got energy this afternoon. I appreciate it. So hopefully that makes sense. And what's cool about ads is also you can experiment. You can spend $20 just to kind of see what happens. And hey, maybe you're just trying to build a little bit of awareness, in which case, yeah, spending money on ads to gain a little bit of eyeballs here and there is not a terrible thing, but experiment and just be careful, because you can definitely waste your budget very, very quickly. We've got No Batables in the house. Silver, Paul, Studios, Manos, DP, Justin, welcome in. Thank you. What niches do you think will be awesome in 2021 and why? Anything that is, so here's the answer. Anything that people are looking for information about that they don't have a lot of information about. That's going to be always the answer to this question. That was the case in 2010 when I built a website about how to help people become security guards. Was I a security guard? No. Interestingly, my mom is a security guard, but that didn't make it into the blog or anything. But people were looking for that info. How did I know that? Well, number one, I did keyword research, and that can be one of many ways that you can find out what's going to be hot or what's coming. Number two, checking out trends like on Google Trends to see what's coming up. Number three, paying attention to what might be coming in 2021. Maybe you have a specific specialty in a space, and you, with your deep research, know that something is coming. Well, you can get ahead of that, right? You might be able to get ahead of a product or an idea or a new niche or something, right? For example, I think that there's going to be number one, a lot more Bitcoin conversation. There was a lot of that in 2015, 2014, and then it went away. I think that's going to come back. Number two, I think there's going to be a lot of electronic vehicle and smart home type stuff coming into play, even more so than now. I think there's definitely going to be an interesting play when it comes to entertainment and streaming. I mean, movie theaters aren't going to be the same for a while. So, taking what's happened this year and seeing how that might implement itself next year, I think online education in one way, shape, or form is going to be massively different and thought about differently. Schooling, if we're still in the pandemic come the next school season, what's that going to mean? What's that going to mean for teachers? What's that going to mean for students? Learning, camps, all that stuff is going to be affected, and that's where I would start thinking about. Thank you for that question, by the way. Andrew, question, will Team Flynn shirts be available on the 31st? They will not. They're actually going to be sold through the 31st and then be delivered after that. So if you want to check out the Team Flynn shirt, it is not this one here. This one just means like I care about you more than I care about myself. But what I mean is patflynn.com merch is where you want to go. patflynn.com/merch. Those are only going to be sold through December 31st. Then it won't be sold anymore. And only those people who bought them will have access to that. We'll have something new coming out later. Exclusive. What's up, Gen Games? Good to see you here. John Carl Lewis, Thrifty Pickers. All my friends are here. And some newbies. If you're new here, hook me up with a hashtag new in the chat. I want to say hello and thank you for spending time with me today. All right. By the way, Pokey Kobe in the house. Awesome. First time watching the live stream. Well, thank you, Justin. I appreciate you for being here. Jay, hey, Pat, what question should business owners ask when designing a strategy for our podcast that might help our business? Thank you for all you do. My number one favorite question to ask is, what are you struggling with right now? If you know the answer to that question, you're going to know what content to create. You're going to know potentially what products to create. You're going to understand what is going through your customer, your avatar, your subscriber's mind, in which case then you can better empathize with them. And that's the key to success online, in my opinion. Empathy. What is empathy? It's putting yourself in the shoes of others and understanding exactly what they're going through. You will write better email copy. You will write better sales copy. You will have a better understanding of how to tweet when you understand what is going across a person's mind. We got Sweet Honey King. Thank you so much for being here. We got Doug in the house. Welcome in. Thank you. Jenry, Veronica, Autumn, Daryl. Yo, you guys are awesome. Thank you. And a big, what should we do? Let's do a bruh. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. All right, let's keep going here. Zaki, hey Pat, me and two friends are considering starting podcasting with video on YouTube in Denmark. How and recommendations to start in a great way. So we don't want to just start filming and doing audio podcasting at the same time. And having both of those each deserve your full attention. That's the thing. An audio podcast in and of itself is a chore, and it's something beautiful, and it's something that can help you grow and build your business. That in of itself can do that. A video channel of some sort with your full attention is a beautiful thing that can grow your channel, that can help you build relationships, etc. Trying to do two things that require 100% focus at the same time is going to reduce the amount of possibility that one thing will, or one of those things will actually give you the best chance to succeed and grow as fast as you want to, and as quickly. It's going to take time. There's no such thing as overnight, but we want to stack things in our favor. That being said, I would pick the one that you feel would be best, and perhaps it's audio because it's easiest. You don't even need to wear pants while doing an audio podcast. I wear pants, by the way, but I'm just saying there's a lot less that you need to worry about. Imagine you do 1,000 podcasts. Well, you know what? I'm not going to make pants. I'm not going to put pants on today. That's going to save 12 seconds, 12 times 1,000 podcast episodes. I mean, that's hours of time you're getting back. So you might as well not podcast with pants on. What's up, Jeff the Ref? Good to see you here. I'm just joking, by the way. I hope that you can catch my humor here. But anyway, I would recommend not attempting to go full on with both. But you could turn the camera on while you were recording, so you have that available. And then what you can do, and this is what I often recommend, you do the audio podcast like you would. You master that process, you get it down. And then if you should have the time and the resources and or money or team to help you, take clips from that show in video format and pop them onto YouTube. Make them very search specific, meaning a particular, let's say your podcast episode is 30 minutes long. Take a 5-minute clip that's about the one topic that everybody's looking for, that they can search for, all that kind of stuff, right? That kind of stuff will help you get found. That kind of stuff gets put in the algorithm for people who are looking for that info. The rest of the podcast episode may not matter right away or may not be as attractive to people right away, but that one little hook brings them in, and then in the description it goes, oh, for the full-length episode and all these kinds of other things that we talk about, click here, and then they're diving into your stuff, and then they can now listen to you on the go, all that kind of stuff, right? New, and you answered my question. Thanks, Jonathan. Appreciate you. So that's, I think, yeah, we're good there. Thank you. Ryan, we got you down already. Awesome. Question 2 from Gunsmoke Ghost. End of the year, been thinking of resolutions and habits. What tips do you have for channeling your Zen, creative flow, etc., focus and get stuff done, especially when you don't feel like it? Number 1, focusing on priorities. I always have a million things I want to do, but if I know the top 2, then I can understand that, okay, these are the things that I've committed to saying yes to. These are the things that I know I want to do, but aren't things I'm going to do right now. I'm going to use that as a reward. Part of me and what works for me is knowing what the reward is on the other end. Part of the reward for doing really well this year and building systems and building out my team was having a little bit of extra room in order to build a new Pokemon-based YouTube channel, which I have now done, and that's a reward to me. I feel really good. I feel in the flow there because I know I've earned it, but also because I want it to do well, and I put time in my calendar for that as well. Knowing and prioritizing, of course, is a part of that, or else I wouldn't put it in my calendar. And if it's not on the calendar, it's not going to get done. So I put these things in my calendar, and I know that when I'm going into that day and I'm going into that time block during that day, I know that, okay, that's my time to do podcast interviews, and I can just kind of be in the flow and in sort of Zen-like mode there. I also need to pay attention to like my body. What am I eating? What am I drinking in terms of how much food or water? I don't drink food, but how much water, food, health, nutrition, fitness, this stuff plays an absolute role in creativity, in energy levels, in happiness and stress. It actually matters a lot. So now is a great time to focus on the machine that builds the business, and that is you and your body, in my opinion. Cool. Thank you for that question. Let's see. Let's see. Jashawn, Pat, what is your advice for those trying to grow their YouTube channel? Be consistent and answer people's questions in your videos, and continually try to have a better set of thumbnails, a set of better titles, because those are the two things that people see before they see a second of your video. You could have the best video in the world. If you have a terrible thumbnail and title, you might as well have not shot the video. One thing that helps me, in fact, is thinking about the title and thumbnail first, and then creating a video for that. Because then if it's not worth clicking on from a title and thumbnail, then it's probably not worth watching anyway. So let's start with a title and thumbnail. And that way, and planning ahead, thinking about those things ahead of time so that I'm not ever in that content hamster wheel where as soon as I hit publish, I'm like, oh, now I got to do this again. Now I'm stressing out already versus, okay, I'm planning at the beginning of the month for the videos that are coming out next month. And that way, when it's time to produce them, I already know what I'm getting into. One video will lead into the next. I know how they're more connected. I can do a series more easily like that. It works really, really well. And then finally, collaborations. Collaboration is key, in my opinion. When you think about how musicians grow, right? We see, so-and-so featuring so-and-so. Why do they do that? Because they know that, well, yeah, they want that talent on there, but they also know that that's going to help each other grow too. You can share audiences in that way, and you can grow together. There's enough for everybody, in my opinion. We live in this world of abundance where even if you're leaving a thumbs down, which somebody just did, I hope you're having a great day and everything else is fine, but it's okay. I'm here to turn that thumb upside down, thumbs down, upside down, frown, crown. I used to say something and then I stopped addressing the thumbs down, and that's probably why, because I just kind of lose track, but it's all good. It's all good. All right. Okay, so that was that question. Bill, so I'm marking when I answer a question. Network, Chuck, I saw your question come in earlier. I see you, my friend. Hopefully those changes we talked about on your YouTube channel are going well. We'll get to your question in a minute. All right, Bill, I'll mark after questions are over. We're already at 11 questions. We're only 21 minutes in, so we're about 2 per minute right now, which is, or 1 per 2 minutes right now, which is pretty cool. Bill, question, Pat Flynn, yes, there is a miracle. There is a miracle morning. What other ways do you create time in your day for all that pulls on you? Great question. So how else do I create time? Number one, I give myself space to breathe within that time. So I often do a sort of variation of the Pomodoro technique. The Pomodoro technique is a technique where you do 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off, 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off. And if you have a 2-hour block of time, you just do that again. The 5 minutes off is really important. I don't do always 25-5, 25-5. I might go 1 hour and then take like 10 minutes. But that is really key because then I can go back into the thing that I was in the middle of doing after a stopping point and have just as much energy, if not even more, than when I went into it in the first place. And that's really important. The other thing is if I find that I'm working on something and I'm struggling a little bit, I'm just not all there, I'm not going to fight it. I'm going to go, you know what? I'm going to go to where my body's telling me to go or where my brain's telling me to go right now. Not in terms of, getting distracted, but because I'm trying to force something that is not happening right now versus let me just try something else for a minute and come back to it and see if I can have a better restart, right? So that is really important to me too in terms of getting more time by becoming more efficient, if that makes sense. Also, team and help. Would I have been able to get my Pokemon YouTube channel done if I was able to edit all those videos myself? Guaranteed no. But again, part of the hard work that I did this year was to allow myself for a bankroll to be able to pull from, to be able to create something new if I wanted to. And my inspiration struck during this time of year. Here it is, Pokemon channel, new video coming out probably tomorrow. Even though I had promised January, I always try to get ahead and over deliver. So there we go. What's up, Jeff the Ref, Kobe? Dude, it's so cool to see, that's the amazing thing about where I think things are going with this Pokemon YouTube channel. There's a lot of cool crossovers between not just investment in Pokemon and investing in one's personal development here and all that kind of stuff, business, entrepreneurship, yeah, those things play a role. But I mean, what's really exciting to me is that, there's a lot of people that I've seen who have made massive life changes for people using Pokemon as the medium. And I know because I have a whole thing of thank you letters over there and in boxes over here of people whose lives I've changed. And I'm excited to reach a new pool of people using this medium, which is really cool. So yeah, thank you. Question from Justin. Is it difficult to get interviews when your podcast is just starting out and small? And does Buzzsprout start giving more detailed stats once you start paying at 90 days? Yes, they will give you more detailed stats for sure. But of course, the more podcasts you have, the more details that you can get. But to your first question, getting interviews, it is harder just for the matter of fact that you don't have clout yet, right? But I don't think it means it's difficult. It's harder than versus if you had, an audience and a lot of downloads already, but it's not difficult. Here are some tips on how you might be able to get interviews with people. Number one, I would focus on people who you already have a relationship with. That's always going to be so easy. Number two, if you know somebody and have a relationship with somebody who knows somebody that you want to interview, try to get that introduction, right? Try to get that introduction. An introduction is always going to kind of cut through the noise for people. Trust me, I have dozens of people asking me every day to be on their show. And it's the introductions from friends who I already trust that I actually listen to first. Number three, reach out to authors, people who are coming out with courses. If you know a person's coming out with a book, you also know that they're going to likely be on a book tour. Like I have a friend, Sean Stevenson, who is writing a book, or who wrote a book called Eat Smarter. His book, Sleep Smarter, was very, very, very beneficial for my health. And I'm really excited to get behind his new book, Eat Smarter, which comes out tomorrow, in fact. So big shout out to Sean Stevenson. Any other Sean Stevenson fans in the house, Model Health Show is the name of his podcast, and literally one of the only podcasts that I actually subscribe to, because although I love podcasts and podcasting, I know that consumption can sometimes control your life. And I think that you need a nice, healthy balance of consumption and action, right? And that's why I always implore just-in-time learning, only allowing myself to learn about the things that I'm focused on right now. Because if I'm learning about other things, it's going to get in the way, and I'm not taking action on the things I need to take action on right now. Wow. Did I even take a breath this entire time? I also just saw a really cool super chat come in from our friend Pokey Kobe. This is such a valuable channel. Do you have a premium edition or VIP list, or do you offer all this content for free to the public? I'll answer that in just a minute, Pokey Kobe. But let me finish this question with Justin. So find authors, other people who are actually those who might want to say yes more, right? So that's number one. But number two, the other thing is, like, don't think you always need to have celebrities and A-listers on your show. Some of the best interviews that I've had are with people nobody's ever heard of before. Why? Because they're more relatable. For example, Shane and Jocelyn Sams, who, unless you've been in my crowd for a while, you probably have never heard of. Two teachers from Kentucky who eventually quit their jobs to start a business, and they are now making millions. They told a story about how they listened to my podcast and did all those things because of me, which is pretty cool, but that's not the point. The point of the matter is that podcast episode 121 of the Smart Passive Income Podcast has more downloads than the podcast episodes with Tim Ferriss and Gary Vaynerchuk combined. Part one, because it is more relatable. Part two, because Shane and Jocelyn Sams, who I've had an effect with, now share me with everybody. And now they're building their audience, and they are some of the most amazing cheerleaders I've ever had. And they share it more and are reaching more people than Tim and Gary would, because they're so busy and they're way up there, right? So that's that. Yeah. So that's what I would recommend, Justin. Also, don't forget to check out the new and noteworthy list in your category on Apple Podcasts. Those are other new podcasters. Podcasters want to connect with other podcasters. You all know you have good audio, and those are people who are also like bullish on creating content. You can reach out to them, and who knows, some of them might grow. Guess what? I was guest number 1 on Entrepreneurs on Fire with John Lee Dumas, who's now an epic businessman, an investor, one of the most seasoned podcasters in the world, and I was interview number 1. I stepped up, did him a favor, and he's now somebody who I'm so glad I connected with and helped out up front, because he's been forever grateful and has been helping me out too. Right? There you go. Thank you, Kathy. Man, the mods in here are amazing. It takes a special kind of person to just know exactly what to do and say. So Peasant Uprising, K-Walk Comedy, Just Samson, and Karma Cashflow, who's not in today. I appreciate y'all so much. Okay, that was a long answer to this question, so let's keep going here. DP, after learning Think Media concepts, this is from Sean Cannell here on YouTube. I want to start a second channel that I think will be easier to niche down in. Is this foolish or a better way to ensure eventual success? Thanks, Pat. There's a lot to that question, obviously. Starting a second channel, as I know right now because I'm doing, is a lot of work. It's going to take time for it to gain momentum. It's going to take an additional section of your brain. It is more than just the time you put into it. It's the time you think about it too. And that time that you think about it will be time taken away from the things that you've already committed to, right? So there's a lot to unpack, right? Dremia, what's up? Thank you for being here. It's worth experimenting with to see. And if niching down is the goal, I think that's smart. I think just, of all the things that you said, niching down is, if that's the goal, that's super smart. Because as I often say, the riches are in the niches. The more you can find your own little space within a space, the better off. The less competition there is, the more you can take ownership of that particular thing, the more likely you are to speak the same language for people who are interested in that thing. And that's exactly what I'm doing now in this Pokemon channel. There's a ton of Poketubers out here. We have some watching this right now. But I have to find my own space. If I do what somebody else is doing, whether I get called out on that or not, like, hey, you're just copying this person's style, I'm getting inspired by them, and you can get inspired by people. But if it's the exact same thing, then you're always going to be second at best, right? And you want to try to create and have authority, which means you need to step up and create something yourself, which you can pull inspiration from other places, but you need to have something that people can go, oh, I follow Pat Flynn over there because he's the only one who blank. You need to know how to answer that question. Not the Pat Flynn question, but insert your name there. All right. Scroll in. Keep those comments scrolling. Twitch gaming question. Which is better, a sniper rifle or a shotgun, and why? So if we're talking Fortnite, because Uncle Bill was in the Twitch channel with us yesterday with my kids and I as we were playing Fortnite. Dude, that was so fun. My son, who's 11, was just on fire yesterday. He was killing it. We had so much fun. So which is better, sniper rifle or shotgun? Well, both are great, right? Because they both have different uses. Just like different tools that we have in the internet marketing space, there's different tools for different use cases, right? So in Fortnite, a shotgun would be used in close range Anything more than 20 meters, it's just a waste because the spray is going to be too far. You're going to hit people for 8 points, and that's not going to do anything. Versus a sniper rifle, which is more long range, right? So the primary combo you need is a shotgun for close range. You want something like an SMG or something for, following up on your shotgun after people are attacking you. And then you need an AR or an assault rifle. This is, again, a video game we're talking about, to hit them at medium range, and then a sniper rifle. And then you want your final slots for, health or shield or anything like that. Anyway, great question. Thank you, Bill. I like the random questions. Let's see. Where was that question from? Let's see. Do you have a sales strategy for 2021? If yes, what is it? Serve first, provide value. That's always the sales strategy. I think a lot of people go really deep into, okay, this is going to connect with this, and we do go that deep, right? But when it comes to the new year, we always ask ourselves, what can we do in this coming year to better serve our audience? All decisions are going to be based on that. We asked ourselves that in 2019, in 2018, in 2017. Before that, didn't really have a team. Didn't really know what I was doing. I wasn't really positioning myself as the CEO of my company versus just a scrappy entrepreneur. Scrapping an entrepreneur or not, solo entrepreneur or multi-person business, doesn't matter. You can always think about what we can do to better serve our audience in 2021. We like to do this thing called a stop, start, continue exercise, which is where we go, okay, guys, what do we want to stop doing that just didn't work this year? Let's take that off the table. What do we want to start doing that is going to be relevant next year that we maybe missed out on or should have done or is going to be relevant next year? Let's do that. And what are we going to continue to do? So stop, start, continue, right? Cool. That's our strategy, right? And of course, there's more detailed strategies like, okay, we're going to have some different kinds of lead funnels next year. For example, we're going to have a quiz. We're going to experiment with that to bring people into a funnel to then offer them something versus what we have been doing, which was free lead magnets like checklists or things like that to bring people into the email list to then serve them. We're going to experiment. We're going to try. And I think it's always worth doing that. Thank you for that question. Whoa, what the heck? Didn't like that question. There we go. We are at 15 questions, and we are already halfway through. So let's keep going. Good to see all the new names. High five to everybody who's new. Thank you. All right. Where was that question? I'm at the comments now where we were talking about pants. There we go. Network Chuck. Hey, Pat, do you offer any one-on-one consulting? I need some help figuring out stuff on my YouTube channel. I have had a program. This answers PokeKobe's question as well in one way. I have many other things that can help serve people in different kinds of ways. I'll explore those with you in just a minute for you, PokeKobe. But for Network Chuck, one-on-one coaching, quick story. In 2018, I launched something called the SPI Accelerator Program because I've never done one-on-one, and I think one-on-one, or I thought one-on-one, was not as efficient as helping a group of people instead. So I created the SPI Accelerator Program. We had 14 students pay $10,000 a month for this program. In this program, they got access to me, they got access to each other, twice a year, flew to San Diego, we rented a mansion, we hung out, we masterminded together, we broke down their businesses, we built them back up, and that was extremely successful. That was 2019 we did that for the first time, 2020 did the same thing. About half of those students came back for another round. We got a new set of students in there too. We had our first retreat in February, and it was epic. And then COVID happened. And then things got thrown for a loop. And then now it's harder to meet in person. It's harder to have those kinds of experiences. And part of the group and the benefit of that was the idea of the group collaboration, right? Like the mastermind, not just the one person, me, but the entire group. When there's more brains in the space, the more likely the person who needs that focus right now from all that brain power is going to benefit, right? And that's sort of the idea, right? It's sort of like Knights of the Round Table. Nobody is at the head of the table, but we're all in this for each other kind of thing. So we launched it last year, and it ended, but it's not going to happen again this year. So what we've been doing, and this is already happening, is any of those students who wanted to come on board and work with me, they are paying me $1,000 a month. I have not 10 yet, but we're getting close to about 10 students because I only have so much time. And currently, I don't believe we have any open spots, but you can reach out to me, Network Chuck, if that kind of scenario works out for you and your budget and what you're looking for. Basically, a 30-minute call per week. That's what it is. There's no group situation, just one-on-one 30-minute call every single week at a specific time. And if you don't need it, then you don't need it. But there's no makeup times. So $1,000 a month. I have 7 students doing that for a whole year. For me, that's the best use of my time. I can help people directly. They're getting immediate help from me as well, and that's pretty cool. So Network, you can reach out to me. Thank you. Pat@patflynn.com. I may have 1 or 2 more spots available to see if we could fit it in, but yeah, we'll see. But I know where you're at, and it'd be kind of cool. We'll see. We'll talk. We need to make sure it's going to fit for both of us first. Cool. Empathy. Thanks for answering my question. #new. Thank you. I didn't answer your question, but I answered Network Chuck's. So we're going to... What happened? Like, literally, I think I was holding this upside down. Yeah, dude, that's what I'm talking about. There we go. This worked. Urgh. Okay. Bargain, $500 an hour. I mean, I once spoke on stage for $25,000 for 45 minutes. That's kind of how crazy public speaking can be. But it's not just the 45 minutes, right? It's the preparation for the presentation. It's good. It's flying there. It's like interacting and engaging with the audience. It's coming back. It's recovering. It's time away from family. That's why it's $25,000 for a keynote speech from me versus, a call at home, no pants. We can go from there. For those of you who weren't here earlier, we were just joking about podcasting with no pants. I don't actually do coaching calls with no pants. I need to stop saying no pants. Okay, Doug. Hey, Pat, I've been in and out of the online world for about 12 years. My problem is that I get the shiny new thing syndrome. Hey, chat, let me know. Give me a #shiny if you've ever experienced shiny syndrome like Doug is doing right now. Doug, you'll see that you're not alone. #shiny from me as well, for sure. My problem is that I get the shiny new thing syndrome. I was a big leader and trainer in corporate America, not sure where to go. So let me ask you this, Doug. If you were training a corporation and they had shiny syndrome, what advice would you give them? It's so funny how oftentimes we don't take our own advice, right? We coach people, but then we don't do it to ourselves, right? It's almost like the doctor who tells their patients not to smoke, and then they go out in the back and they're like, I don't know what they're smoking, but anyway, sorry, no pants, and what are we talking about today? Just repeating my question here, got lost in the comments. Cool, I'll get to you, Nomadivals. Thank you for letting me know, and thank you for the super chat. I see it coming in. Number 1, lay it out all on the table. Put all your ideas out on the table. Use Post-it notes for days, right? Post-it notes, Post-it notes, Post-it notes. Just to see the sea of ideas that you have. Great. Number 1, you're going to go, wow, that's what's going on in there. I need to do something about this. What's really cool is our brains have this amazing way of coming up with a bunch of new ideas. Unfortunately, our brain also doesn't do a great job of organizing or putting hierarchy and or order to those things when they're still in here. We need to see them to deal with them, right? So once we see it all out there, we can organize them. We can go, oh, well, these things are actually pretty interesting. Or, wow, I'm noticing a pattern. There's a lot of these kinds of things in here. Or, wow, this one's terrible. Throw it away, Kobe style, right? And just kind of you can start working with it. And then it gets to a point where you can start to understand, okay, now there might be some that are more interesting than others. Now I can almost see which ones actually I do want to do and would make sense for me down the road. You can start to navigate that messiness when you lay it all out. And that's kind of where I would start. And then in terms of always getting shiny syndrome, the check-in with yourself is this. If I say yes to this new thing, what am I saying no to, right? And that no can be a business idea that you've already had some prioritization on. It could be the idea of time with your family that you're saying no to when you do commit to something else. And here's the last thing I'll say to answer this question for you, Doug. And again, here's the question that I'm answering. This is the thing that has helped me the most. That is called the 20% itch rule. The 20% itch rule is a thing that I made up. It's the name that I made up for this thing that I learned from other people. Gary Vaynerchuk practices this. Google practices this. Ramit Sethi practices this. Many other people practice this, even though I can't say practices this very well. So what I'm talking about is 80% of your time is done on things you've already committed to. Reserve 20% of your time to try something new. Guess what my 20% of time is dedicated to right now? My new Pokemon channel, right? Before, that 20% of time was dedicated to the Switch Pod, which you see there, a product. Other times, I've done things that didn't work out so well. But you know what? I was able to scratch that creative itch and get over having that syndrome. So what this does is I have to prioritize that, okay, if I'm doing, work Monday to Friday, Monday to Thursday, I'm going to do all the things I've committed to do. And then on Friday, that's my play day. I'm going to experiment. 20% of my time is going to be used for things that I'm just going to play with, such that if things don't work out there, I'm going to be okay because I'm dedicating that 80% of time to something else. It's like when you go to the casino. If you go to the casino, I don't condone gambling, but I do know that there's a strategy to remain safe when you're gambling. You take a certain amount of money that you're okay losing. And if you lose that money, guess what? You're okay. It's when you go back to the ATM that things kind of get bad, right? And that's the equivalent of shiny syndrome. You keep going back to the ATM, right? And you're not using the money that you've put down in the best way. So I like to have playtime to scratch that itch, but it's not taking me away from the other things that I know that I want to have. Cool. Thank you, Doug. Doug for the win. And this pen is not winning. Ugh. Hold up. Oh, close up to Pat. Ugh. All right. Yeah, fine. What's your advice to a 15-year-old, Pat? I'll answer that question here too. Don't worry so much about what other people think about you. You worry way too much about that. I would worry about and hang around the friends that actually would care for you. And who cares about the cool people? You don't need to be like them. Embrace your weird. You're a little weird, but that's what makes you special. And then finally, there's plenty of fish in the sea. Just because she said no doesn't mean it's the end of the world. Cool, Pat? Cool.
Bruh.
All right. Pat hugs. Nice. Cool. Question, being that you are on day 286 here, as well as everything else that you do, how do you prevent burnout? Well, I guess you just touched on most of this. Yeah, I did touch on most of this just now with the 20% itch rule prioritization, putting aside other ideas in a shoebox that I can go to later if I want to, and the pens dry out without the cap on? Okay. So we're going to put the pen over here, face down. All right. Okay. And then the other thing is just try to find whatever you can be grateful for within the work, even if it's hard, right? It's about the process, as Miley Cyrus would say, it's about the climb. And it's really important to, even though things might be tough, to remember the why behind it. And that can be very motivating as well. I'm very lucky because I get to work from home and I see my two little Ys walking around. One of them just turned 11 and the other one's 8. And I know that this is the only time I have with them. So I work hard so that I can be more present with them. And they're not getting any younger. And neither am I. But eventually they'll be out of the house and doing their own thing. And I want to cherish these times as much as possible. Boom. All right. Thank you. Okay, I got to remember to cap this thing. Okay, Grandma Goody, yes, I still owe you that. And I don't think we have a 2021 version. But as soon as we get back to work next week, we're going to have that if I can't find it. I'm here, Team Flynn for the win. What's up, Nick? Good to see you here. Thank you. Let's see. I'm gonna answer this question here, and then I'm gonna go back to Pokey Kobe, who left a super chat, and then Nomadables, because they left some super chats. Again, you don't have to pay, but I do notice when those come in, and I do wanna repay you for that. So thank you. So Fit Over 50, what do you think about being laser niche focused on my brand channel, but doing some variety on my personal channel and other areas of expertise? I think that's probably the best case scenario, because then people who subscribe to you on that one place will know what they're getting access to, right? They know every video is going to be important to them, and this is how you have a higher percentage of people who are subscribed come back and watch your videos. My percentage of people who subscribe, who watch my videos, is actually very low, because I actually do have a variety show here. Yes, it's all business and entrepreneurship, but a lot of people follow me because they found my podcast stuff. But then when I talk about email marketing, it's not necessarily the thing that excites them in the morning, so they don't watch those videos. So I heavily rely on search here on YouTube to bring new people in. I'm going to hopefully change that next year. My goal, again, is to double the channel size and get to 500,000 by the end of next year. Probably this time next year, we're going to have another live stream of some kind, and I'm going to go, hey guys, we did it, or I didn't, and here's why. So that's going to happen. But I think that having your personal stuff be variety is great, because that's you, right? It's like Uncle Bill's channel. That's whatever the case may be, that's you, and that's people following you for you, where it doesn't even matter what you say, right? It's for example, like when Peter McKinnon comes out with a video, I don't care what it's about. I'm going to watch it because I'm a fan of Peter McKinnon, for example, right? Oh, I can check one more. Thank you. And then now another one, right? Thank you. All right. I was going to answer Pokey Kobe's question, which was one of the super chats that came right here. This is such a valuable channel. Do you have premium edition or VIP list? Do you offer all this content for free? Here for free, obviously on the YouTube channel. I mean, 400 plus videos of all kinds of things, plus the live streams every day. We're at day 286. We're only 2 weeks away, y'all, from 300, which is pretty crazy. We might need to do like a 300 special, and I might make it 300 themed, right? I got the beard now. All I need is that Sparta hat, a phalanx shield, a spear, a chest plate, and then Sparta! That's what I need to do on episode 300. Thanks for the idea. So premium edition stuff. I talked about my accelerator program, which I had and is not around anymore. Now I'm doing some one-on-one coaching in that style of 30-minute call per week for $1,000 a month. And I have that with several students right now, but that's kind of tough because it's not as efficient. It's not one-to-many, it's one-to-one, but these are students who have already had a relationship with, and I may add a couple more, and we'll talk with Chuck a little bit later. But anyway, the other things that I do is number 2, there's obviously the podcast. There is the blog, all free stuff. There's over 1,400 podcast episodes across my podcast that have free information and stories and inspiration and motivation and tactics and strategies and tips and, etc. I have online courses. A few of them are free, but most of them are paid and premium courses. And those are the things that have been generating most of the income. In fact, we just crossed $4 million in total sales since launching online courses in 2017. Am I a $4 millionaire as a result of that? No, not all that money comes to me. Taxes, the team, any sort of outbound costs for anything from support to the softwares that we use and whatnot. And plus, we're building a bankroll in our business to be able to invest in other things too. So anyway, doing really well, but online courses are there, everything from podcasting to finding your niche idea and validating it to an advanced podcasting course, email marketing, affiliate marketing. We just came out with a webinar course. And then there's an online course coming out next year as well. Thank you for that, Pokey Kobe. Pokey Kobe, by the way, I've gotten to know him really well. He is doing a lot of things right. He's in the Pokemon space as well. But when it comes to building relationships, making people feel special, making people feel like they belong, honing in on like what it is your voice is in the space, big things coming. All right, let's get to Nomadables. And I see Electric Linda as well. I'll get to you, Electric Linda, in just a minute. And I love that name, by the way. And I'm looking for that super chat that came in from Nomadables. There we go. Hey, Pat, just repeating my question here. Got lost in the comments. Question, what targeted demographic do you find that want to make their own podcast? So obviously, there's podcasting in all different kind of categories, right? You can find... Oh, legit Electric Linda. I was about to answer your question. That was no need, but thank you so much for the support. I appreciate for that. And high five. But let's answer Nomadables real quick here. Let's put that back up. What targeted demographic do you find want to have or make their own podcast? I mean, look at any podcast category inside of Apple. You're going to find everybody. It's like blog. Who wants to start a blog? Everybody wants to start a blog, right? But I think it's important for you to pick one if you're going to serve that audience in some way. And maybe pay attention to some of the patterns or who's talking about it. And I think that now you have the luxury with everybody wanting a podcast to think about, okay, well, which of these groups that are starting podcasts would best benefit from starting a podcast and being successful with it. Obviously, we all want all podcasts to be successful, especially our own, obviously. But take, for example, an author. If you choose authors, I'm going to help authors start their podcast. I want you to pay attention to what niching down does. We always talk about this. The niches are where the riches are at. And I started that wrong. The riches are in the niches, right? So think about that. You're helping authors. Great. What do authors want? Authors want to have more readers. Great. I'm the person who helps authors start podcasts so that you get more readers for your books. A very clear benefit for that specific group of people. I help authors get bigger. What else do authors want? Bigger advances, right? I help authors get more reviews for their channel. I help authors launch their books. Hey, let me help you start a podcast. I see you have a book coming out in March 2021. If we start now, we can actually start a podcast. 20 episodes is all that's needed. You can interview people that you talk about in the book. This could become a bonus that people could actually get who read the book, or it could actually drive people to come get the pre-order at a discounted price before the book actually comes out, right? So this is just one idea. So think about all the different groups, and everything from public speakers to people who live stream, to moms who are looking to keep their kids busy at home, to fathers who are looking to start a new craft and hobby. There's podcasts about everything, right? There's podcasts about earthing. Not earthing, but everything. Cool. All right, Electric Linda, and thank you for that question. Okay, what are we at? 5, 10, 15, 20, 23. Okay, we're going to shoot for 12 more questions, and if we have to go over the hour, we're going to go over the hour, because I promised 35. Or that was the goal, but I didn't say it within the hour, within this stream. Anyway, we're going to get to 35, I promise. Electric Linda, thank you so much for the super chat. Hi, Pat, tattoo artist, 100K YouTube subs with content for clients. With content. For clients, I also do courses for tattooers. Should I divide the two or keep them both on my brand? At some point, you will have to divide them, but I wouldn't necessarily say that you have to, because your stuff is so closely related. In those videos, you could probably inspire some of those people getting tattoos to become tattoo artists, right? There's a lot of cohesion there, and that's really cool, right? I'm just thinking about the secret word, and I have not been able to fit it in today. I'm gonna put up the white flag today on the secret word. I'm just not feeling it today, so I owe you a game of Watch Your Mouth on Friday. This is the penalty for not saying the secret word. And I'm just going to call it. I'm not going to say it today. I'm struggling with putting it in. The chat has won in their choice for secret words today. And so we'll play a game of Watch Your Mouth on Friday, which is my penalty when we have fun and play games. So I'm just giving up on that one right now. But to go back to Electric Linda, I was trying to put it in with tattoos. Like if you got a tattoo of George or Kramer and Festivus thing. Anyway, that doesn't count. But I didn't get it in. All right. I would keep it on the same channel, but have information about both within the description of each channel. And what happens is at some point, you will start to have to segment them out. Not divide them necessarily, but you start to go, hey, and by the way, anybody who's watching this, if you want to become a tattoo artist or you are one already, make sure to check out this free resource here. And then you have them on your email list, right? And now you can talk to them just specifically. You don't necessarily need a new YouTube channel for that, but maybe there's a video where you take people behind the scenes on how you do what you do as your business. That's still very relevant for people who are interested in your tattoo content, but then some of those people will be interested to go deeper with you and into the other stuff, if that makes sense, right? Behooved made that. I've just been using that word in my daily language now because we used it once as a secret word. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, secret word is a word that the chat chooses on Fridays that I have to implement into every single live stream, or else I have a penalty, and I didn't get it in today. I'm just giving up on it today. I keep going back to that Seinfeld episode, and it's just, I don't want to keep using the same example. So, Linda, I hope that answers your question. Let me know. Let's see. Pat Flynn, I was watching a few of your videos about podcasting the other day. That Podkite website that you suggested is the real deal. Thank you. This is not a question, by the way, but I did answer Linda's question, so let's mark one there. Podkite to help you keep track of your rankings and also reviews from different countries will be cool. Thank you, Pat. You're welcome. Let's see. Question from Cooking with Kibby. I'd like to connect with other members of the Income Stream community and support their channels. Is there a place to find folks outside of the stream? Yes, there is. And if any of the moderators would like to share the Slack group, there is in fact a Slack group that you could join with other people who enjoy the show and want to connect. I'm not in there myself personally, but I do know that it was started by a man named Ern from Rap and Combat. And we haven't seen him in a while, but he did send me a message yesterday and he's doing well. And he's got a little baby now, so it's probably taken up a lot of his time. But the Slack channel, and so moderators, if you have links to the Slack channel, not the Snap channel, you can pop it in there for Cooking with Kibby or anybody else who wants to join and connect. Thank you. Elisa, how do I raise money for my laptop? I want to learn to do code. We aren't rich. Any tips? Number one, you don't have to buy a new laptop. Number two, might there be some specialty or superpower that you might have that would give you access to a laptop that you could get pro bono, right? Like, let's say, for example, that you find a local business who might need help with their website, and you can go, hey, I specialize in website design. I'll do it for you for free, but I'm really looking for a laptop. If I get lent a laptop and I do a good job, then if you let me keep the laptop, I'll let you keep the website stuff for free, right? You could barter your way there essentially. So that could be something really interesting. Thank you. I'm showing is that not working? I don't know why it's not. I'm trying to show these things. So quarantinesuperfans.slack.com. I don't know why it's not popping up. What if I put it in there? Oh, there you go, K-Walk. Thank you, K-Walk. So you don't necessarily need to raise money. You might just need to get smart about how you might be able to get access to one to be able to code. Number two, yes, there are ways to raise money for it. You could use something like a GoFundMe sort of campaign. And if you share very honestly about where you're coming from and how you might need some help, you might find that there's actually some really nice supporters out there who might want to serve you and help you on your way. You might also find that just simply by asking around, you might find people who have older laptops who are willing to give it away or perhaps sell it for a very, very cheap price. I know that the people, for example, who are going to be switching from the regular laptops from Apple to the M1 laptops are likely going to be wanting to get rid of their Apple stuff very shortly here, if not already. So that could just be a place for you to play and potentially find something. All right. Let's keep going here. Oh, we didn't have any music in the background. That's okay. My bad. Andre, are you still shooting hoops? You versus Ducker for charity? LOL. I want it to be entertaining. I don't want to just like own him the whole time and make him look bad. So I don't know if that would go very well. I'm just kidding. For anybody who knows Chris Ducker, he's one of my best friends and we always joke around, and he knows I'm a very competitive person, but we always poke fun at each other. It's really fun. But anyway, that would be fun. I actually pitched to Gary Vaynerchuk once a charity basketball, sort of like, remember when MTV had those, I think it was like MTV Jams or something like that. I can't remember, but they had celebrities who would play and it was for charity. I'd love to do something like that in the entrepreneurial space, but of course it's not the right time right now. But I would love to do it. I have not been playing hoops. I used to wake up at 4 a.m. to play hoops at 5 and get back home at 7 and then wake the kids up. I used to do that for about a whole year straight, and that was a lot of fun. I do miss it, but I've been rowing a lot more than playing basketball. Bill says, you're entertaining enough for us. Thank you. All right. Scrolling away. Justin, you recommend Skype for interviews. Can you just save the audio and run it through Audacity and our Auphonic? Yeah, totally. You could do that if you wanted to. It's just you need a place to record the interview on, and that's how you connect. You connect on Skype. I am actually more in favor of a different product right now called Squadcast.fm. Squadcast.fm is a place that you can go to connect with somebody. It's just all browser-based, but it records locally on both sides, and it gives you the best audio quality, way better than Skype, way better than Zoom. There is a little bit of a cost, although there's a free trial if you want to check it out. smartpassiveincome.com/Squadcast if you want to check that out. And full disclosure, I'm an affiliate. That is my affiliate link. And second, full disclosure, I'm an advisor to the company. Yes, I do own a share of the company now as a result of having advisorship for them in their business. The sixth company to have me as an advisor, in fact, which is pretty cool. Oh, you found it. Yo, you found it. No way. That's awesome. Where did you find it? Thanks for the link letting me know. Cool. I'm so sorry I wasn't able to find that more quickly, but thank you, Dr. Severin. All right, that was a nice question. We are on question 29, and we're going to go to 35, so we're going to go 6 more questions. Let's see. Where are we at? Susan, what would you do to start a new year or season for your podcast? Think about what's on everybody's mind right now. Let's have some episodes relevant to that. That's kind of what we've been doing right now. As you know, we have been coming out with podcast episodes about what's coming in 2020, recapping 2020 and what's coming in 2021, excuse me. To start the new year, I have some stuff that's relevant. You know, somebody who is coming on next week to talk about podcasting and video together. It's something that I get questions all the time about. We've had that question 2 days in a row now here on the Income Stream. And knowing that this is a popular topic, I wanted to start with something popular and relevant and have a person on who can help us answer those questions about using both audio and video for a podcast at the same time. Thank you. All right, 5 more questions. The Gunsmoke Ghost, we've touched on niches and brands, but what are some good ways to attract audiences to the platform industry in general? For example, how to up demand for people to start listening to podcasts more. That's kind of happening automatically, but there's ways that we can sort of like nudge that along a little bit. And what I mean is to get more people to listen to podcasts in general, guess what's happening? Celebrities are creating their own podcasts. Michelle Obama has a podcast coming out, if not already, on Spotify, with how popular Joe Rogan has made podcasts. And even like, you know, other celebrities like, just there's a Conan O'Brien, to you name it, people are creating podcasts, right? And that's cool because people who are like, what's a podcast? Oh, okay, I'll listen. This is free. Cool. Let me listen to my favorite celebrity. They come on and then they go, wow, I can actually listen to all these other things too. Let's find them. And so this is how we're seeing this uptick and curve within the podcast listenership space, as well as the podcast creator space, which is really fun and exciting. But as far as people finding our show, here's the number one way to do it. Actually, 2 ways, right? Number one, create content worth talking about and sharing. Still, one of the best ways to grow your podcast is via word of mouth. So create something word of mouth worthy, right? Create something word of mouth worthy, right? Spray some value shrapnel so that everybody listening can then pass that on to other people, right? Value shrapnel is my new word of the week that I actually was contemplating last night. I said it yesterday on the stream, just making it up, and I really love that. Value shrapnel. That's like what's being served to all of you who are here and not participating in the chat. That's okay, but you're just going to get that shrapnel, right? So anyway, to your question again, the second way to grow would be to be on another show. When you are a guest on another person's podcast, you are not only being able to spend a lot more time than you would on a guest post or a social share or a retweet or something like that, but you are also getting endorsed by the host that everybody's already earned trust with. So that's huge, and that's where I would go, right? Value shrapnel. I still love that. I was thinking of that this morning. Yeah, me too. Me too. All right, where are we going? Here? Yeah, well, let's go there. Cool. Journey with Leong. What would you advise negotiating when contributing to a startup group bootstrap, working for free, with the promise of being included in the team? What would you advise negotiating? Here's how you get ahead with anything. You should understand what it is that you're contributing to a company, whether you're an employee, whether you are a contractor, whether you are a team member. Your way to security, your way to ensuring that you will continue to work with them long term is by you understanding clearly. First, you have to understand this, then there's a second part to this, but you have to understand clearly what it is that you are offering that they can't get anywhere else. If that is not possible, you're screwed eventually, right? This is the same thing as if you go on the Shark Tank, right? And you might know this from my book, Will It Fly, and the Shark Tank test that I talk about in there. This is a scenario. You go into the Shark Tank, and there's Mark Cuban and Barbara and Damon and all those guys. They're there. and Mr. Wonderful is there, and he's got this look on his face where he's listening to you intently, right? And then you pitch your idea or whatever it is that you do, and they go, well, okay, what's stopping me from hiring somebody else to do the exact same thing you're doing? Why can't I do that? Because if you can't answer that question, then you're disposable, right? You're disposable. So how might you, number one, first understand what it is that you have to offer that nobody else can? That's number one. Number two, how can you demonstrate that that is true? There you go. So, Leong, I hope that's answering your question. Uncle Bill says, value glitter. Value glitter. No, shrapnel. Shrapnel is, although it does come from, a grenade or something, we often hear value bombs, right? We hear value bombs all the time. But do you get that value shrapnel? I didn't even make that connection with bombs earlier. Yo, we're inventing things as we go. Here we go. We got, 3 more questions? Cool. Caleb, 2020 equals decline sales of pants. I think that that's actually happening. I've worn jeans once since March. I used to buy men's jeans. Of course they're men's jeans. Why would I even need to say that? I used to buy jeans all the time. I have only worn one pair. I've just been recycling the same like set of 5 to 7 sweatpants from what's the brand? Rhone, RHONE, which is the male version of Lululemon essentially. And that's all I've been wearing, right? Value fairy dust. Tomorrow we're on at 9, by the way. Thank you for asking. Tomorrow we are on at 9. We have a special guest coming tomorrow. I'm so excited. We haven't had a guest on in a while, but it's perfect. It's going to be a perfect guest to end the year on, and I'm really excited. So 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. It's our usual time that we start, and then the rest of the week, 1 p.m. again. But tomorrow I have some coaching calls in the afternoon, and we have our special guest coming at 9, right? So there we go. Bernard, how do you become an advisor for a company? Great question. I was asked to do it at first, and since then, I've been approaching companies and helping them and adding value such that they go, wow, what else can we do together? How do we get more from you? And I go, well, I've done these things with these other companies. How might I be able to come on board and be an advisor? Startup companies and other companies that are like that very well know that language and understand that having a board of advisors is really, really important, right? So yes, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 noon Eastern, and we have a special guest. We have a special guest for sure. Let's see. Explanatory Live says, sorry, just looking at something really quick. So that's that. Lisa says, Pat, are you familiar with a Facebook group called Buy Nothing? A person may only join this group for their own town or city. This is where a person can give a laptop with a request. Wow. I've not heard of that, but thank you, Lisa, for that value. Buy Nothing. We'll see. It is not Ducker. It is not Ducker tomorrow. Squadcast is great with audio quality, but don't record video yet. It does record video. You just don't have access to that version yet. It's coming very soon. Let's see. There was one question here from Explanatory Live. Have you tried the app Clubhouse? Yes, I'm in it right now. May I have an invite? They're only on iPhone right now, but I have 6 invites, and I don't know how to give an invite to a very specific person. I don't know how to do that. I think you have to be... I would like to, but I don't know how to send you an invite. Let's see. I don't know how to do that. I'm sorry. Love the NKB HD sweatshirt. Thank you, Jeff. And I thought I was going to take it off, but I'm not. But I still want to... We is greater than me. That's us. Thank you. And we are at 35 questions. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. We did it. I think we answered a little bit more, but yo, Zach Vlogs, what's up? Welcome. Thanks for being here. You need their phone number to give an invite to Clubhouse. Okay, well, I'm not going to try to figure it out right now, but reserve my name when you first mention it, but still waiting on a Clubhouse invite. Ah, okay. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, it's not letting me punch in like phone numbers or anything. I'm not quite sure how that works yet. Cool. Yo, thank you so much for coming in today. We answered 35 questions in about 70 minutes, so not 60 minutes, but this was super fun. Thank you to everybody who's here. And if you're brand new, first of all, you're awesome. Number 2, hit that subscribe button and ding that bell notification icon too if you should so happen to want to make sure you never miss these again. We're going live tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. We're going to do a Q&A tomorrow. We're just doing Q&As all week. And then on Friday, we're going to have some fun and games, play some games. I owe you a Watch Your Mouth. And we're going to play some brand standing as well. Actually, as we sign off, give me a miniature golf company for the Mafia. As we sign off here, you can think of a name. A miniature golf company for the Mafia. What would you name that brand? A little bit of brand standing right before we go. So miniature golf company for the Mafia as we sign off. Thank you so much for today. I appreciate you. And as always, Team Flynn for the win.
This is the income stream to help you achieve your dream. All while we keep it clean. This is the income stream. It's the kind of show where you can come and go, but then you leave inspired with no fee required. The income stream with Pat Flynn.
All right. Let's see. We got No Holes Barred. We got Little Whackers. Dude, so good. Bullet ball holes. Cannoli clubs. Mini mob. Cannoli clubs. Full golf about it. Stick and roll. Keep them coming before the chat ends. But anyway, thank you so much. Peace out. And you're amazing.
Bruh.